In Web3, it's going down. It's actually down. Hello all and welcome all. I'm your host Boo, and today we have a jam-packed show for you with a great special guest. Tune in.
Yo, hello everybody and welcome everybody. This is episode 50. Let's get this fucking room retweeted out. Let's get some likes in here. Let's get some shares out here. 50, baby. This is 50 weeks, 50 hours. We do this 1 day a week, 1 hour a week. We don't do this for anything, yo. So this is episode 50, and boy, do we have a special guest today. You know I already got some red tape. I got the intro to give it here. So go ahead, shout out the room. We got the co-host here, JPEG, J with the most, my incredible producer. Go ahead, check us out on YouTube Live. If you got YouTube Premium, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can mute us over there, listen to us on X, but watch our beautiful spaces over there. It's incredible how we're merging the world. Seriously, you can do this all in the comfort of your home, in your car, in your office, wherever you see fit. Did I mention we're live on YouTube? We're live on YouTube, everybody. This show, we do it for 1 hour. First 30 minutes, laser focused on yesterday, Satoshi's Closet, who I'll let come off on the mute soon. Don't worry, we'll get to them. They'll have plenty for us to talk about today. With the last 30 minutes, open mic Q&A. Anybody wants to jump up, ask some questions, maybe some thoughts, anything. You know what I mean? We're always doing stuff. And we have a poll out today. With that, I got to ask how my co-host's doing. JPEG J, how are you today, love?
I'm doing great. A little dreary. Weather in the East Coast over here is a little bit, gray, but we're hanging in there. We have results from last week's poll. So we had a conversation with Bear Labs last week talking about them and making a new tool that allows you to populate a Discord server automatically with just a click of one button. So we've asked everybody, have you ever built a Discord channel and how did you do it? We have 88.9% of the response saying they made everything from scratch. So it sounds like we all got to listen to the last week's episode again and do it the fast way.
Yo, yes, we do. And by the way, that's Tolly Bear out there with Bear Labs. It's a free bot that you can add to your Discord. It doesn't need to be called Bear Bot. It could be called anything. And it populates your Discord in seconds. You know, we all probably at this point have whitelist grinding on our resume. With that, thank you, JPEG J. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll have another poll, but we usually put it out later in the show when it's on topic for this week's guest. Okay, with that, I want to give a big warm welcome to my guest this week of Satoshi's Closet, Michael, co-founder, Boss 8, former lead design of Gemini mobile app. Oh, and Tezos, baby. Any Tezos people out there? We got Magma Mobile Wallet out here, Dexter Decentralized Exchange. But right now, I met Michael at Satoshi's Closet over at Station 3. Yo, if y'all have just tuned in this week, maybe you haven't heard it, but we're doing an event. We pushed it back to next week where we're doing glitch art. We're making glitch art, and we're getting to hang out with Satoshi's Closet. With that, I want to give a big warm welcome to Michael. How are you doing today, brother? Unmute. in the bottom left, baby.
This technology still
There
muted.
you
Thank
go.
you, Bill.
There you
I'm
go.
doing
You
great.
got
I'm
him. So if
doing great.
anybody's watching the stream, he's got
I'm
like
I'm,
so much
I'm
going
wiping.
on.
I'm still wiping the water off my brow here from the scooter ride in the rain here on the East Coast, as Jay mentioned. But I'm doing wonderfully, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for jumping through the rain on the scooter, doing it. Yes, out here on the East Coast, if you're riding around, please bring out your umbrella when you're doing it. So, yo, you know how we do it. We just kick back and we let our guests, talk however long they want to do it. No elevator pitches up here. So, Michael, how are you doing today other than the rain?
I'm great, man. It's a very fun, and I mean that 70% truly fun time in the space where we're in grind mode, man. I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel of this bear market, and yet we're still in it. So we are still just keeping the head down and pedaling and hoping the pedals don't fall off until we break through this thing. So, I feel good about it, but that's where I'm at today.
Hell yeah, dude. And I just want to say, I think you're the first Bored Ape we've had on the show. We've had Mutant Apes. We actually had a Mutant Ape on our first show, but this is the first time we had a Bored Ape on the show. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. So, Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before, crypto even entered your vocabulary?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always seen myself as a creative person, not necessarily technical, but tech centric. And so I studied computer graphics back in college, 3D modeling and animation, using the computer to make digital creations. So I've basically naturally found myself being a digital designer for the better part of my life now, I guess half my life, 10 plus years, working primarily in the digital world. And even when I was not working in the digital world, I was doing digital things like setting up social media channels, running social media, doing websites and that kind of thing, print design, even back when I was not working in the app space. But for the better part of my career, I've been a product designer, UI, UX designer. You rattled off a few of the things that I had worked on, I guess not before crypto actually, which I jumped onto in 2017. But yeah, I had started a couple of startups even before Satoshi's Closet when I was still pretty fresh out of college. My old co-founder and I released one of the very first mobile coupon apps on iPhone and Android back on the T-Mobile G1, the very first Android phone. I am still an Android fanboy, a Pixel user, so shout out to my Android peeps out there. Fun fact also, the creators of CryptoPunks, they created the Androidify little characters, those little Google characters, before they ever did CryptoPunks. So hats off, Larva Labs, Google plug. So yeah, I've been in this digital space and really at the intersection of creativity and technology for most of my career. So when crypto became a thing, I wasn't tapped in the very, very beginning, but a few years into that world, dabbled in some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, the OG Coinbase trifecta, and working in tech and having this design and art sort of mind, NFTs came up onto my radar in 2018, and where I first was interested and saw the use cases for NFTs was in physical goods, containers on container ships, slapping a physical tag with an ID, an NFT ID onto prescription drugs, wine, physical artwork, these high-priced goods. And around that same time, I was pretty new to New York. I've been here for 8 years now and started to get immersed in the fashion world around me, the street world, street art world around me, and saw this convergence that I foresaw with physical apparel and NFTs because of scarcity, authenticity, and resale market dynamics that are so prevalent in those worlds pre-NFT that technology seemed like a natural marriage. So that's already kind of peeling back the layers on the Satoshi's Closet story. But that's really where I started to dive into NFTs and building in this space was finding creative ways to apply this technology and really get it out there in the world. That's why I chose apparel personally to start with. Was if I could put people in crypto t-shirts, they're walking billboards for the crypto movement. So that's really the why of how this all started, aside from just wanting to make cool shit with technology.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love that you talked about containers, because the first container ship, I think, set sail out of New Jersey. You know, New Jersey's like the warehouse central, you know, over here in the tri-state area. And I love it that you just like saw the longevity here, not just applying it to, you know, gambling necessarily, right?
I mean, dude, I missed all of the great gambling opportunities because I was so focused on making this thing. I like missed all of the, like, I saw the Nifty Gateway explosion that was happening in 2020. Biggest regret, if I'll allow myself, was I had a beta invite to NBA Top Shot just sitting in my fucking inbox for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. And I grew up buying, collecting, trading basketball cards. It was such a natural fit, and so I could have been pranksy, but I'm just me, so that's good too.
Are you an original BAYC minter, or are you a secondary?
I am not a minter. I found out about it like right after it minted out, and I remember I was placing bids on a couple. I was out with the fam and like trying to duck off into the corner of like some store in Brooklyn, like trying to place bids on apes and not get yelled at by my wife. And so I didn't get one then. I was lowball bidding, but I still got it pretty early. It's the pre-1 ETH days, so I've been holding on to this guy for quite a while.
Listen, I love it that you bring up the family. Before we dive deeper into this real quick, you know, you almost had to cancel on me because of a PTA meeting. How do you like, you know, balance it all? And like, does sometimes your family think you're crazy for what you're doing, or they're just like, no, that's just dad's work?
Both of those things. It's definitely a challenge to balance Web3 and family life. I mean, balancing life and family life, I hear universally from other parents, is the challenge of life. But yeah, no, I mean, I have to offer such a debt of gratitude toward my partner, my wife, for doing so much over the last few years while I've been out grinding and making trips to Miami for Art Basel and bringing these tablet kiosks out all over New York City, getting home at 2, 3 in the morning with, you know, 40 pounds on my backpack. Maybe I'm wet from the rain or whatever. And, you know, coming back from some late night thing in Brooklyn or wherever, where so much of this innovation is happening. And that's really what I hope starts to emerge in the narrative today, and not just as a narrative, but because it's the truth, is how much is happening on the ground. And if you are only participating on Twitter and Discord, and maybe you're only able to, maybe you're in a geography where you just don't have this kind of access, but what's happening in the world, people doing things with this technology, meeting like-minded, good-hearted individuals, is pretty much the polar opposite of so much of the worst side of NFT, Twitter, and this online side of things. So yeah, it's some late nights for sure, and it's probably good to have family for balance and to come back to that at the end of the day, and dropping my kindergartner off at school and picking her up at the end of the day are highlights of my day currently. So thank you for asking.
Oh, of course. And I love to point that out to my audience that's been listening in for a long time and listening back, because we couldn't do it without having a solid partner, a solid support system, whatever that may be. And it's kind of dope because when you pick up your kindergartner, unfortunately, like your kindergartner's not like, Dad, I got rugged today on, you know, pastel penguins. You know what I'm saying? Like you can kind of step away from that. And one thing that you brought up, which I loved, is, by the way, when I first met Michael, right, at Station 3, I'm like, what's up, Michael? I'm Boo. I'm a Twitter's host. I'm on Twitter Spaces. And Michael just kind of was like, oh man, another one of these, kind of, right? But we started working together. We broke bread. And I think that Michael understands that I'm more than a Twitter Spaces host, right? And that's why we connect. And that's why we're doing this event that unfortunately had to get pushed back another week. But honestly, it's not a bad thing. It gives us more time to cook. It gives us more time to promote the event. It gives people who couldn't come last week now the opportunity to come this week. And I love it that you point that out, because it's like, yeah, man, when we're doing these IRL events like last week with the women of Web3, right? That was such an incredible event. Women who don't want to be labeled as women. They just want to be people in the space. Stop giving me this label. We had such a good time. And then like me and Michael were hanging out talking, right? And then somebody comes up to me. They're showing me this app, kind of like Satoshi's Closet. They're showing me all these charts, guys. And Michael looks at me, he's like, oh, I'm gonna step away. I'm like, why'd you leave me with that guy? You know what I mean? So we have this like personal little bond here. But with that, you know, you're an app guru. So let's talk about Satoshi's app here. And like, you know, you got QR codes behind you. There's some limited garments. I'm going to be purchasing one next week. I believe it's a run of 50 with NFC chips in it. And it was cool. I asked Michael a question, you guys, and he like 20 minutes later came up to me and was like, you know that question you asked me? I got an answer for you. And these are the people I want to work with. And these are the people I want to highlight. I don't know where you want to go from there, brother, but there's really no question. I'll give you the mic back.
Yeah, thank you. I do have the shirts behind me. I suspect, you tell me, there's more listeners on Twitter than viewing, but yeah, where to take it from there? Like, you know, you said with this event getting moved back a week, it gives us more time to cook, and I'm glad I can use this extra week to prepare for that and help the artists who are coming potentially display and sell some of their amazing work through our platform and through the NFT point of sale app that we've created. And so I've been cooking fucking endlessly basically for the last 3-4 years, and really pretty full time for the last 2. And we, you know, the ding, the oven timer finally dinged like a week and a half ago, like all our shit was done. And of course it's not done, but it's reached a stage of completeness where this vision that I've had since 2019, basically, it exists now. We have a mobile wallet app. We can onboard people. We can use it. You can use it to show your friends in real life, your coworkers, your family at Thanksgiving, how down bad you are, and scroll through all of your JPEGs, your PFPs, your artwork, what have you. Because this app we've created called Wallet, spelled WLT, you can find it on the App Store, you can find it on the Play Store. Obviously, I'm a Google plug. And you can use it to view all of your NFTs across all of the major NFT blockchains: Ethereum, Polygon, Tezos, Solana. We have Bitcoin support, even counterparty NFTs, not ordinals yet. And one of the beautiful things about Wallet is you don't ever have to enter your seed phrase, enter your private key. You can use it as a view-only wallet, just enter all of your public wallet addresses across those blockchains, and it will aggregate and beautifully display for you all of your NFTs. You can bookmark your favorite collections, you can favorite your favorite NFTs to create a carousel slider, and you can also use it as a hot wallet. So now when you want your friend to onboard, and they're just not quite going to be MetaMask people, and bless MetaMask and everything they've done and do for the space, they're leaders for good reason. They were created as a developer tool. You need a wallet to send tokens on a blockchain. It's virtually a primitive in the blockchain ecosystem. So it was designed to be functional, and it wasn't originally designed to be mainstream consumer usable. And that's where we're focused, and that's where I feel, you know, so blessed to get to work on this as a product designer of 10 plus years, a UI UX designer, is taking what I've learned from great mentors, from great clients, from shitty clients, and applying that to this this mobile wallet app. So I think seeing is believing. I hope everybody downloads it. Again, WLT is how you spell wallet on the App Store and Play Store, and just enter your .eth names, your .tez names, and immediately all your NFTs will pop up. You can see your cryptocurrency balances as well. You can mint NFTs. We have our own minting platform that we've built out, and you can buy an NFT using Apple in-app purchase. You don't have to enter your private key. You don't have to use crypto. Just Face ID it, Touch ID it. It's connected to your Apple Pay account, and you can mint an NFT in like 30 seconds. And now when it's this newcomer and they come to our event next Wednesday, right? You bring your friend out to Station 3 because they're NFT curious, right? Or they're into art and they want to learn about glitch art. And they come and they're like, cool, how do I get into this space? Oh, go download Wallet by Satoshi's Closet. It's on the App Store. It's on the Play Store. Boom, open up the Wallet Hub, tap this button, and you've minted an NFT. You didn't really jump through a lot of the crypto hoops. Yes, it's a seed phrase wallet. Yes, in the future, we plan to implement email and social-based logins, so it's even easier for people. You can onboard in 30 seconds to a minute, and you could buy your first NFT in 30 seconds, and voila, now you're part of the scene, you're part of the community, and you didn't have to KYC, you didn't have to go to an exchange and withdraw money to a MetaMask or a Trust wallet. It's just all right there. So that's the main one I would love listeners to tap into. And then ultimately, where this goes is enabling this IRL NFT commerce. It is still easier to sell an NFT to somebody 6,000 miles away than to somebody standing 6 feet away. So that's why we also developed this interactive NFT kiosk that we've basically evolved into a point of sale kiosk. So now you can scan a QR code, whether it's our app, whether it is a MetaMask, a Trust wallet, or even just from your camera phone, and buy, mint an NFT with a credit or debit card, and voila, now you're at your favorite music venue, you're at a sports arena, you're at an art gallery, a gift shop to a museum, and you can buy digital artwork, collectibles, tickets, wearables as easily as you'd buy a t-shirt or a toaster oven. That's it in a nutshell.
Wow, everybody who listened to that, the listeners out there, please share out the room, give it some love. I got 8 more minutes up here with you, and then people can start requesting up. That's incredible. You know, seriously, the fact that you've been having your head down for 3 years working on this app. I mean, I guess when you were getting told about these like games coming out and they'd be out in a year, I guess you knew right away that was kind of BS. And good thing you kind of missed out on that, right? And thank you for explaining what wallet is too, the WLT, because I was going to ask what it stood for. It's key.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
branding's
Just
key.
wallet, baby. Just wallet.
I want to ask something. You know, what was one of the biggest hiccups creating this app? Did Apple throw something in the loop there that kind of slowed you guys down, or am I wrong on that?
Did I tell you that? Because yes, like they have been one of the biggest challenges for us, and Apple, with all due respect, is the largest company in the world. And it is a highly, highly, highly centralized operation. And it has a centralized soul. Even think about Steve Jobs' ethos to have everything be Apple and everything proprietary, even in contrast to Wozniak, who wanted everything to be open. And so you have these proprietary systems, operating systems, app store policies, and Apple moves the world from a technology perspective. And even though I don't actually know like the global split between Android and Apple and the 17 BlackBerry users remaining in Canada, but in the Web3 world, at least our user base is something like 90% iPhone users. And our app has been rejected from the App Store at times, or had app updates rejected at times for a variety of reasons. And I've learned how to dance with the app review team at Apple and learned a lot of things along the way from the school of hard knocks. Of course, when those app updates get rejected, it's at the most untimely of times, like, cool, it's Art Basel, we're going to launch feature XYZ. Oh, shit, our app got approved the last 7 times, and this time it got rejected for this thing. And now we got to do this back and forth dance, and we found creative and clever ways to work within that set of constraints and opportunities. I mean, like I said before, you can mint an NFT in our iPhone app with Apple in-app purchase. So they want people doing Apple shit. We're gonna lean into some of the Apple shit and do our dance that way, and give and take, and see how they end up evolving in the world of Web3, but they are this centralized force, and that even applies to the content and media world. They have Apple Music, they have Apple TV, so I think they I'm not going to quite say they need to come up with a Web3 strategy, and I'm sure they have one in some dope ass, deep ass skunk works. But if decentralization, true digital asset ownership, true financial self custody are going to be the way of the world, at least a significant way of the world, then those things are going to have to coexist. So how that plays out over the next 5 years, I think is pretty interesting, and that's the arena we're playing in.
I love it. I love it. Yo, I loved how you tiptoed around it, but I love how real you are about it. And yo, you're looking healthy, by the way, not getting too stressed out by Apple. There's a lot that I have to cover here, but before I do, with one more question that I think is important, there's many entrepreneurs in this space like myself, other developers listening. Can you please give us some advice on how you can take an idea, a concept, and then apply it, and then like let somebody know, like, yo, buckle up, you might be working on this for 3 years, and somebody like Apple just, you know, does some policy stuff and whoop, your entire thing's vamoosed?
Yeah, I mean, on that latter part, that's true, and that's a risk of building into somebody else's ecosystem. We saw it happen with Zynga and Facebook back in the Farmville days, and then you got to see who's really wearing the pants. Hint, it's Apple and it's Facebook. For aspiring entrepreneurs, startup founders, for me, for better or worse, I'm a show me, don't tell me type of person. So I like to make things and make good things and then show them to people. And if they agree they're good, I'm on the right track. And it's probably good to socialize ideas with people, share prototypes and designs with close friends that you trust, because yeah, people could steal your idea, but at the end of the day, the reason why most startups fail is not because their idea was stolen, it's because they didn't execute as well as they could have, or they misread the tea leaves for the market opportunity. I'm no expert in this. I think I mentioned before, I did a couple startups in years gone by, and we call those learning experiences. I had no liquidity events, no exit on those, but you learn by doing. At least I learned by doing. How much you want to cut the safety net or the cord to get back to home base after you swim out there for a while. That's a product of your risk tolerance and your personal situation, right? And having a family definitely changes your risk profile. And yeah, dude, I'm out on the small branches. So it's if you want to do something meaningful, I think then you're going to get out on the small branches and be significantly uncomfortable. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yo, that is so true. It really is. And like, honestly, like if your dream doesn't scare the shit out of you, then what is the dream for? You know, that is a really good thing. Jay's throwing up her hand. I think we got a poll out. I think Jay's got something to add here.
Yes, we have a new poll. I know that we both have different opinions about NFTing on mobile. You know, I do it. I have a higher risk profile than you, I guess. But I know, Boo, you don't like to NFT on your phone. Why is that?
Because I have fat thumbed. I have done things with this device that I like always am like, how the hell did I do that? Right? I like look at my phone. I'm like, how in the heck? Like, I wish I could like constantly be screen recording all my devices, because sometimes I'll create an issue for myself and I can't recreate it. And I work in e-commerce. So one time I deleted all the blogs on our Shopify, and unfortunately you can't get them back. So I had to do 20 years of blogging again. It was terrible. So like, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to get rugged in this space. The best I can, knock on wood, I have not yet, other than the pastel penguins, which I bring up a lot, but you know, it's cool. We gave those away as gifts. That was fun. But you know, like we got Wallet Guard, right? We got our ledgers. So yeah, Jay, you know, but I saw in the comments down here, Skidley, one of our incredible listeners, listening in for 50 episodes. And I want you, Jay, if you get a moment, post the link up. He did this incredible woodworking art piece. I'm definitely going to shout out at the end. But Skidley just downloaded your app, and he said it was all good. And he said, finally, a fucking piece of, well, he didn't say the F word, but he said, finally, some technology that works. Finally, somebody built something that works.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. And you know, I would drag him up here. I think it's like early in the morning there, and sometimes he's got mic issues, but don't feel any pressure because I love to get that experience. I'm gonna do it next week live at the show, right? Because that's what Michael talked about. You know, you got to walk the walk to talk the talk. I'm gonna do it up there. Yes, I'm gonna figure out how to have some wallet on my mobile device. Jay, she's pushing me. She's always getting me ready with this technology. Before I give it, if anybody wants to start requesting up, by the way, this is that time. Anybody wants to ask questions, throw flowers, talk to Michael, Satoshi's Closet. Maybe I forgot something. Maybe y'all were in the trenches with him and I didn't know that. But I always ask my guests this, Michael. What is something from this space that you would like to see go away, change, or just stay the same? You can pick one, all three. It doesn't matter.
Ooh. Go away, change, or stay the same. I mean, I hope the same snarkiness still lasts. I think that some of the dark humor has actually saved us during the bear. So the memes, let the memes flow. I think that's a good thing. Change, you know, kind of as I was alluding to earlier, just having the space open up a little bit more to the outside world, the physical space that we're in, and see that there's real people out here. We're not just hanging out behind our PFPs. And as much as I have had this quandary, this great quandary, around identity and online identity and IRL identity. And am I Clive Epstein? Am I Michael? Am I Satoshi's Closet? I mean, people here who I've been in this space with now in New York for like 3-4 years, half the people here call me Satoshi, which is fucking dope. But I can't go to a crypto conference and introduce myself as Satoshi, or I'm going to sound like an asshole. So I have found that other people are grappling with this same question, and I'm talking, you know, on this video version that we're doing right now on Rug Radio, on YouTube and whatnot. I'm talking to a couple PFPs. One of them is this dope, like 2D animated JPEG J. Boo has his 3D Clone X avatar going, and I'm just my like plain vanilla ass face with my hat and glasses on. And so what I hope changes is we mature a little bit, and the people behind the JPEGs can come out and meet each other and interact, even while we have some playful animated costuming, and bring some childlike wonder still into these adult days that we live.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And you did such a good job telling the audience exactly how we look up on here. You know, we're using what we got these things for, right? This is what we're excited about. You know, like I got the files because of this NFT. A lot of things we're building with it. We're working with it. I'll bring my shoes next week to next week's event. I'm sure you've seen them. Just all those different things. And the cool thing is, why not benchmark off of it, right? I know you've mentioned streetwear in your website. I come from a background in streetwear, you know. And the funny thing about these shoes, these new Artifact Crypto Kicks, right? If somebody bootlegged these already, damn, they need a trophy. Like somebody, like for real, like go get that motherfucker or whoever they are and hire them, get them on your team, because like whoever could bootleg these like in that amount of time, like props to you, because I don't think you could do it. And if you did do it, it would be obviously bootleg. Jay, before I go too off topic here, was there anything that you thought of, a question, anything there? I didn't want to not pass over you, Jay.
Well, I wanted to talk about the New York Fashion Week event that I'm seeing on the on your X Twitter. It looked like a lot of fun. How was it?
It was amazing. Thank you for asking. Thank you to the Clone X community, and shout out Clone X and Artifact a little bit. And Hodl CEO is there with his crypto kicks. I got to see those things glowing in the front row, which was a perfect part of the evening where we talked about Web3 and connected fashion. and the future of connected apparel, and how connectedness is this theme running through our space and our social experience as much as our technological experience, and how what we wear is, for many of us, an extension of who we are. Just like our JPEGs are an extension of who we are. So that's what the night was about, aside from the NFT ticketing that we did, the token gating that we did, also something that we've rolled out within the world of Satoshi's Closet, inviting not only our community and selling these NFT tickets, right? But we token gated in Clone X holders, Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, Gutter Pigeons, Azukis, Moonbirds, Station 3 patron NFT holders. You could get free access to our event just by virtue of holding your NFTs. And while I don't totally love the utility word, everybody's waiting to do shit now that we're part of this thing, and because we own these things. And part of where this space is going is access, and owning your NFTs can allow you special access to live events, experiences. And yeah, we have token gating online. You were talking about Discord earlier from last week's poll. Sure, your NFT gets you into a gated channel, but now it gets you into a gated event or a gated section of a music festival. So that's also some of the technology underpinnings of the event that we were exploring too. And we love putting on events, and at the same time, doing that was really a platform to show off the tech that we've built, so that if you are an NFT project, if you're a fashion project, if you are an event producer, a party producer, and especially in New York or in Miami, we have this great technology to enable you and your community to do these things that you want to do. You want to have NFT tickets and token gating. You want to sell NFTs to the people who come into your event, whether they're native to the space and they already have MetaMask on their phone or at home, or they're NFT curious, crypto curious. You need to get them into a wallet. You need to get an NFT into that wallet that they're holding, because holding is believing. Holding is believing. That's the mission. How do you get people to onboard? You give them something to hold. You give them a digital artwork. You give them a t-shirt that's connected to an NFT, because people understand ownership. People understand owning a t-shirt, right? So if you can put that in their hands, cool, I get it. Now you put an NFT in their hands, they get it too. So we just have to get these things into their hands, and that's part of what we were doing during Fashion Week as well.
Jay, did you have any more there? I didn't want to, you were cooking if you're cooking.
That was great. I'm just floored by how much fun everybody's having in the photos.
Yeah, it was a good time. Shout out to our partners, G Gallery. They're a venue where we have a couple of our NFT displays installed. BitBasil is a great partner. New York Culture Club did the NFC chip technology that's in our sleeves. So you can tap this thing with your Android, with your iPhone, and bring up a digital experience, like a 3D version, 3D spinning version of the shirt. I'm not quite Nike. I'm not quite Gucci, even though I beat them both to the blockchain. So I do have a 3D spinning shirt, though. It's not bad. It's pretty fucking cool, actually. And you could wear a shirt, somebody sees it, it's dope. They scan your sleeve. They could buy one because you're the walking billboard, which brings it all full circle with our origin story of getting people into wallets, getting people into NFTs, and getting people into a fucking crypto shirt. So somebody on the street asks them what that is, and then they onboard the next.
Oh, I love that. Hopefully, maybe Jay could find that, or that 3D spinning avatar of the shirt. I'd love to pull that up on the stream. Michael, what is it something these IRL events doing right, and what's missing? You know what I mean? Because for me personally, I'll just say it. They get a little loud for me. They get a little loud. I gotta put my arm around someone, or I'm just yo, can we have a one-on-one call later? Because then I do have that one-on-one call later, and I'm wow, I had no idea. I'm man, at the event it was more you know what I'm saying?
What is missing from the event space? Sorry, I was just dropping a link there for Jay to throw up if she wants to, with the 3D spinning shirt that New York Culture Club also put together for us. The event space, yeah, they're loud. They're fun. I feel like it's a very gonzo sort of scene. Like not everybody, but a lot of us, I'll include myself, are pretty full tilt at these things, at least at times. I mean, token gating, but that's something that is coming, and I'm not the first to do it. Obviously, like token proof is out there. EP50 is the integration that we used and we use for our token gating solution. But more interactivity, and like this is just me like talking my own book, right? I'm like, oh, well, you need fucking NFT point of sale kiosk, Satoshi's laws and office those. See? But it's true. Like it's one thing to go into a gallery or a party and see a bunch of cool artwork on TVs or NFT panels, but that's a very passive experience. So to have something interactive, like these tablets we have, people walk up to them and they can actually see the name of the artwork. They can see the name of the artist. They can see the description, the metadata, the mint date. They can scan a QR code to find it on the marketplace and buy it if they're so inclined. So actually bringing transactions into the real world and not just DJs and drinks and vibes, those are great. But as we've seen over the last year and a half, the vibes only take a project so far. Things need to be monetizable, and it's not about like soaking the consumer, but like we're consumers. And a lot of us are also creating stuff, so that's cool. But like you're gonna buy a hoodie, you're gonna buy a shirt, you're gonna buy an album or a streaming service or whatever. If we want blockchain and decentralized ownership, like access and true ownership to be a thing, then we need to be able to put it into people's hands. So you need to have the applications now built out that are easy and usable so people can actually do that and realize the vision that we all have that's still kind of locked behind a few of these locked doors that we're aiming to unlock. So, I mean, I think what we're doing is what's needed. Frankly, that's why I'm building it.
I love that. Michael is so passionate. I can't wait to listen back to this one. I listen back to all the interviews we do, by the way, everybody, because you got to build on top of it. How did you get involved at Station 3 down there at 26 Broadway, Manhattan, New York?
Yeah, great question. Great space we have here. I plugged myself into the Bright Moments community earlier this year, and I've known about Bright Moments for a while, but I've kind of been, like in this heads down building mode, cooking for a few years, and we are pretty much just two guys in a garage. So almost contradicting some of my advice from before to entrepreneurs, like we were a little bit stealthy about things. I didn't want to totally show our whole hand until we had it, which we now have. So I'm happy to talk about it and show my face and do all these things. But I had a respect for that community, even not participating, and I started to participate. And it's a great community, Bright Moments. And I met an artist, Emily Edelman, and she's great, and her work is great. And she downloaded our wallet app, and she played with our interactive NFT kiosks and loves it and gets it. And so she invited me to bring one of our tablets, one of our kiosks, to her event at Bright Moments. She did a collection there called Agar, which is a super cool generative art project. I need to own one of those pieces. I do not yet, but she had these beautiful artworks up at Bright Moments Gallery, but there's like 100 artworks in the series. You can't display 100 artworks on 8 screens. So we brought out our tablet. We had all of the Agar pieces curated, so you could view every one of them and scroll through and touch and feel a digital asset. And the founder of Station 3, Bob Lucas, was there. He's a big supporter of the arts and generative art and Bright Moments and a bunch of other projects in the space. And he saw what we were doing. And he said, hey, I'm building this Web3 community hub down here in FIDI called Station 3. Come in, visit. And we were awarded a grant, a builder's grant, to be here. Surrounded by other builders and artists and people like Boo, to just kind of prop one another up. We're collaborative here. many hands make light work. So that's how we got plugged into Station 3. Grateful to be here. And I know word is spreading, and it's spreading with good reason. It's a very positive energy, a very real energy, and builder energy, not bullshit energy.
Yo, and it's so real, everybody, that somebody got caught sleeping in their office, and I think they already got demerited for it. That's how real it is. That's how you know it's real, when people are like, I ain't leaving. I'm doing this 24/7. Like, seriously, I'm 35, but if I was 23, I would never leave that office. Bob would have to kick me the hell out of there. He has literally given every single tool and every device for you to use so you cannot fail. You basically have to have that drive. Just like nobody forced Jay, forced Boo up here, or forced Michael to make this call, to make this show happen. Nobody. We're doing this. Yeah, we're doing it for free because we love it. We're creators. And I love it that I'm talking to somebody who builds apps, because I mean, I usually do stuff with my hands. I still don't know how this phone works. And I think Clive in the audience down there, he's on an iPhone 7. How funny is that? We're on iPhone 15 out here. I just wanted to point that out because, yeah, we do a little bit of show in the background. Yo, my daddy always told me good help is hard to find. So when you were building your team, how did you go about it? You know what I mean? What were kind of some of the, it's hard, employing your own people and and giving them their fair share. Talk a little bit about that.
So I met my co-founder, Ankit, who is not on the call this evening. Also a family man. And actually, I'm going to drop a link to you here, Jay, real quick. But I met Ankit. Oh, this is a good little story, actually. This is the one that I'm typing.
You're not supposed to be working. You're
I
breaking
know.
the rules of the guest.
I'm back channeling, Boo. I'm back channeling.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, I met my co-founder in real life at a stock investing conference here in New York, and we just sat next to each other. We're kind of like the millennial dudes there. Even though it's put on by like a tech company, it was a StockTwits conference, Stocktoberfest. Shout out StockTwits. And somebody was being like anti-crypto, one of the speakers. And we're like, who's this fucking guy? We know what crypto is. So we became friends. We started talking about what projects we wanted to do. I was already dabbling a little bit in doing some like Bitcoin themed t-shirts. They weren't on chain. And just thinking about how we could push this forward. And we had this idea like over beers, like, oh, let's actually put physical apparel on chain. And so we did it, and we did the world's first t-shirt on chain. It's not the one you have pictured here, Jay. We actually did a one of one in April of 2019, a single shirt for the co-founder and COO of the agency where I was working at the time, and it worked. And so we did this drop in October of 2019 called the Initial Shirt Offering. 50 t-shirts on chain, 50 ERC 721 tokens, and what we did, I'll even show this here a little bit on the video stream, is we created 50 wallets, we minted 50 NFTs, we sent an NFT to each wallet, we printed out a paper wallet, a seed phrase, and we sealed it up in this envelope with onboarding instructions. And this envelope has been sealed for almost 4 years. Inside is a seed phrase that opens a wallet that has the NFT for the shirt. This one is number 30 out of 50. And so you could buy this thing with fiat and walk away, and we would onboard you into NFTs through this physical apparel. So I don't know how I got on that note, but that's where we started. And we're still doing like similar shit. Now we're just doing it as much with apps as we are with shirts.
Oh my gosh, I love the origin story and how you guys met. That's so cool. That is super cool. Well, okay, security here. Have you guys seen what's in the envelope?
I have. At a time, I've deleted the files that I used and whatnot. Like, if you bought this one, it's kind of, there's the last couple people who have bought them, and I only have 2 left for sale. One of them is going to be 168. They originally were 68. I've sold the last 2 for 168. The last one is going to be 1 ETH, because then there's going to be like no market for these. And like, the people who came to our event in 2019, some of them were crypto-ish, some of them weren't. It'll be a little bit like punks and the lost Robbies, where some of these tokens will never be retrievable, although I doubt people lost the shirts. It's the first physical apparel on chain. Like, this is going to be worth something in the future, I believe. What was your question, Boo? Damn.
No, you said you've seen what's in the envelope.
Oh, yes, security-wise, so that's what I was going to say. Two things. One, like, if you bought this, you might never want to open the envelope. Maybe that's part of it to you. Or, like, don't put $1 million worth of crypto in that envelope in case somebody knows how to hack, like, a Google Drive file from 4 years ago. Don't make this your highest value wallet, but the NFT is still in that thing.
Yo, and props to you for saying, like, I only got like 2 left. The last one I'm selling for an ETH. Like, know your value, know your self-worth. You know, like, how did you like kind of like learn that as you've kind of gone away, instead of being like, you know what, this isn't selling. Yeah, you know, I'll cut this deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I read a Seth Godin email. I still get those daily emails. I don't open them every day anymore, but I've done a lot of client work, both at an agency and as a freelancer, and I'm very good at what I do, and I can do things quickly, for instance, that is still excellent work. And the value that I'm able to create is because I've put in the time. I've put in my 10,000 hours. I know how to make a flyer look dope. I know how to make a pitch deck look dope, and do all this stuff. It's accrued knowledge and experience, and I've found good clients, and I've stuck with clients that know their value and know my value, and I know what this is worth. I think I've only probably given away like 2 maybe out of those 50. Giving a few of these other new ones, our new shirts that we did with the chip in them. The original was called the initial shirt offering, so this is the secondary.
Yeah, put it up for the camera. It looks good.
I've given a few of these out here to evangelists because, again, like, it's a walking billboard. So if people are going to advertise Satoshi's Closet, they're going to advertise NFTs and Web3 with our stuff on their back, and they're builders. I'm not giving them out to anybody, but people who have been supporting me for 1, 2, 3 years, I want to support them back. I don't have the ETH to do it right now, but I've got some swag, so I'll share that with some people, because I know their worth. If my friend Elena of Supermoon, who I gave a shirt to earlier, she pulled up through Station 3. If she's going to wear this at like ETH Lisbon or Mainnet or whatever, that's worth the MSRP. So I know other people's worth. It's an advantage of being a builder in the bear. People who are still here when the tide has gone out are here for good reason. So something I do hope continues in this space, circling back on your question from earlier, is once this space fills up again with the next wave of newcomers, that we can all still look at each other with a knowing glance that we were the pillars that remained when the tide went out.
Yo, I'll remember you, and I'll slide up in there with those whitelists, and I'll say NFA DYOR, and you better take profits, and don't come at me if you don't take profits, anybody. Good Lord, you know what I mean? I can't wait to write my thesis after I wrap up a year in this space going hard, so I can just talk about it all and just lay those numbers out there. Because like you said, it's on chain. Provenance, it doesn't lie there, which is important, which is really, really important. What are some other hobbies about you, man? Like when you're not creating apps, you're not crunching numbers, and you're not hanging out with your daughter and your wife, what are you doing?
Big sports fan, Chicago sports fan, very painful at the moment. Cubs have dropped a couple in the playoff race. Bears look terrible. The Blackhawks, my team, have the #1 pick, Connor Bedard. I'm excited about that. The Bulls are a hot mess. My Boilers are going to be #2 in the nation in basketball when that tips off. So sports fan, live music lover. I've seen the band Fish more times than I care to admit. Fox, who's here on the Twitter Spaces, gets to hear some of my late night musings when I'm spinning my way back from Madison Square Garden to home. So I like to go see some live music. I like art. I live here in the city. It's a blessed place to live where there's art galleries, there's street art, there's creativity all around us. So those are the hobbies, and kind of peanut butter and jelly with the NFT world, at least where I see it and where I'm trying to bring it, is continuing to intersect these spaces that make sense for the technology, for the movement, for the people, for the fun. That's me in a nutshell.
Wow, man. And you know what? My follow-up was going to be like, let me give you second to the last word before we close this down here. If there's anything that you want to plug, anything that I didn't cover, anything at all, give us a second to the last word, and then I'll send us on out here. We got 5 minutes, so please.
You covered everything, man. I've talked a good amount, which I'm happy to have the space to do. Like, thank you for inviting me up, because I have put in a lot of time and work and energy into this space, and I've been doing it largely heads down, and I'm not a hype man. I'm a builder. So to now have the space, the opportunity to share our story, I'm grateful for. So thank you. I think at some point there was hypothetically going to be a Q&A. I don't know if anybody else has questions out there for our last 4 minutes, but I'm happy to entertain questions. But I've said my piece if there's no other questions. But thank you, Boo. Thank you, Jay, for having me on this evening.
Yeah, if anybody down there wants to come up, ask something. I usually sometimes will go over. I don't mind. I don't. Sometimes we're just flowing up here. I forget to remind the audience. You can hit the request button anytime to come up here in the second half of the show. But yeah, if nobody wants to come up here, that's fine. Get in his DM, yo. I love it that you're feeling seen. You know, again, you know, this is me when I first met Michael. I'm like, God, this guy's like thinking I'm just a hype man. I can't wait to prove him wrong. I'm both, baby. I'm both. I hype up what I'm about. I don't talk about it unless I'm about it. And next week, we got Skidley coming up here. And let me hype up Skidley real quick. This is somebody who's doing incredible stuff. He just did sculpture out of wood that I believe you can play music out of. I hope he's got good reception. He's coming all the way from where are you coming from today, Skidley? Tell us.
You got me? Oh, sorry, there was a bit of lag between me connecting and hearing what you're saying.
Where are you coming from today? Tell us, Skidley. You're one of our incredible, incredible supporters. Episode 50, an artist, an entrepreneur, a dad. We love you, Skidley. What's good today?
Yeah, I've got a nice day here. We've struck some spring weather, so I'm loving a bit of sunshine now. So, but yeah, nothing too special. My end at work again. So, any questions? I just wanted to, I guess, jump up and say how good this actually really thoroughly enjoy these ones, and it gives me another one of my favorites is the Zen Peter one, which I feel is I'm starting to get a bit of a pattern of these speakers that I like, the passionate builders that are enthusiastic and real go-getters. So I think Satoshi is sorry, just had a notification there. Yeah, it's been fascinating to hear his story, and especially being a dad and being able to accomplish all these things. And I know that's one thing I struggle with is balance and work life, and you know, doing what you like and trying to push those boundaries as well. So yeah, it's been really good and very well spoken and easy to listen to. So I'm excited to get into this WLT app and have a bit of a look around at Smoko and see what it's all about. But yeah, it's been great. So I'm looking forward to following along with what's next chapter for himself and what they can do with this app. So yeah, thanks again, guys, and I love it as usual.
Thank you, Skidley, and it's pronounced wallet, and thank you for downloading it. And, hop up in Satoshi Closet's DM if you have any issues with it. I think Michael will take care of it. Yo, everybody that tuned in, Fox Slightly Golden, love you. J6, who does our intro and outro music, doing his own show on Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yo, it's a fucking fire show. Check it out. Shadow up here looking out for all of us. Stay safe out there, Shadow. I hope you got your umbrella on the East Coast. Dragon E, thank you for coming in today. Clive, I know who you are. I hope you figure out the personality thing. We're all trying to figure out the personality thing with our PFP. It'll work it out. Murders, Durs, yo, I can't wait when you drop your PFP. When whitelist, let me know. Navi, I hope you had a good time in Tokyo. Baby, I stay connected with my community. This is what it's all about. Shout out Rug Radio. Live on Rug Radio, episode 50. Next month is our 1-year anniversary. Shout out for Rogue for giving us the opportunity. Shout out Artifact Creators, CloneX NYC, Station 3. Yo, guys, this has been an incredible episode. Everybody connect with each other, drop in the DMs. I'd never talked to an app developer before, and it's just so awesome to let this person be seen. Pull them out of that, all those cables, all those screens, get them up here to the front door and let them get their flowers. With that, this is episode 50. We'll catch you next week, baby. We're back for episode 51. Everybody have a great weekend. Goodbye.
In Web3, it's actually now.
Walk, don't run, everybody.